In this video, I'm going to be testing the new TAYLORMADE MG3 wedge. It's going to be an interesting one because I've had the MG2 wedges in the bag for 2 years, so I feel familiar with the previous model. But get this wedge is £150. Now, from a certain brand, you can get not one wedge, not two wedges, but 3 wedges for the same price as one wedge with the TAYLORMADE. I'm going to test what difference do we actually see. Now what's interesting, if I was testing a premium driver by one of the big brands, let's say TAYLORMADE for example, nearly £500, and then tested a low budget price driver, which I have done already on my channel, you'll typically see drop off in performance. The low budget one just doesn't go as far, it's not as consistent, whether that's the material, the technology, whatever it may be, but you do see a noticeable difference between premium drivers and low budget drivers. But with wedges, what am I going to see? Is it the fact that they feel different? Do they spin different? Do they react different? Do I hit it further away from the hole with the lower priced clubs? Well, let's find out. I'm interested to find out myself. Now, first off, I'm going to review these first, the MG3s. I've got a 52, a 56 and a 60. These are the ones where the face rusts. Now, I've taken off the sticker that then starts that rusting process. I don't think it's going to rust in this video, and I don't have that special potion I had in the last video to do it again, but I'm going to test it in its normal state now. Let's hit some shots around the green, let's hit some bunker shots, let's see if they spin before then test them against these, the Kirkland Signature wedges. So first off, I'm going to hit some low little runners with the 52 around the green. You know what? Around the green, very happy with the 52. Feels exactly like the MG3. It's a nice shaping. Feels like it gives me a little bit of grab, but not loads. Next up, the 56. I might go a little bit further back with the 56. Hit some little pitch ones in. Well, the positive, I hit the green 6 times. That was nice. I mean, that one was really nice. Stopped how I expected it to stop. That was using the 56 degree. I've got a little bit of feedback from the MG2s that again I've had in the bag for a while, but just generally in wedges, a little bit firm off the face. Not a super soft feeling wedge. I also, you know what I did? I experimented a little bit with hitting some dry grooves and actually some with the wet grooves as well, just to get a bit of an idea on how much that face affected the spin. And again, very impressive results. So far, it's doing its job nicely. Next up, lob wedge, bunker shots, a few little lob shots. Let's see how that gets on. You know what, it's got to be said, this wedge is a gorgeous shape. I love how rounded it is on the toe, and it's got a fraction of leading edge roundness. It's not mega sharp. And I do like, again, the framing. It's probably why I've got the wedges in the bag currently. When this starts to go rusty, this middle section, it kind of just pops out a little bit more. I don't think it does loads to performance, as we've seen in the past. It's very hard to measure if it makes any real difference. But psychologically, when it goes a little bit rustier, it feels like it might spin a bit more, but that's really it. Okay, some shots out the bunker. I do like the shape, and again, with this 60 degree, because I've got it in standard bounce 10 degrees, it's going to be open the face a little bit. Oh yeah, that sits really nice. Cut that one a tiny bit thin. Go in. Not quite. Do I like these wedges? Yeah, I do. Are they any different to the MG2s? No, they're not. They almost feel identical. Again, just the only feedback is probably just a tiny bit harder off the face, but that is really it. They're nice weighted, they look great behind the ball, they're versatile, I like opening it up, doing what I need to do, and in all, I've chipped it quite nicely, which is not always the case. So now is the time, because I've spent a long time testing these wedges, what are the Kirkland Signatures going to feel like now? So as I've just mentioned, those TaylorMade wedges were really good. As good as Vokeys, Callaway wedges, Cleveland's, those kind of premium wedges. But why do they cost so much? Like, are we overpaying for wedges effectively? Because this in my hand here is a Kirkland Signature. I've tested this before on my channel and I really liked it, but I didn't test it straight off the back of a premium wedge. So are we gonna see any differences? Is it gonna feel any different? Is it gonna spin any less? Am I gonna chip worse, basically? Now, if you don't know about these wedges, you get them from Costco. You get 3 wedges for £150. There's downsides, however, you cannot test them before you buy them. You cannot get them custom fit. You can't change the loft or the angle before you buy them. But overall, this looks like a nice wedge. And again, I liked it last time, but let's see what it does straight off the back of testing one of the best wedges on the market. So that was a lot of fun and very, very interesting. Now, as again, I make this point, if I'm testing a high price driver versus a low price driver, you see a performance difference. You do, without question. Ball speed drops, distance drops, etc. You just do, it's facts. I've seen it before. What's been really interesting in this test is there are differences, but not what you may expect. Let me break that down. If I go on looks alone, just solely looks, shelf appeal, let's call it, I am going TaylorMade. It just does look overall a better wedge. If I'm going on feel, and I mean feel of the golf club here now, actually behind the ball, how does it sit, and what's the weight feel like? You know what, again, I'm going with TaylorMade. It just feels slightly more better weight distribution. But that's where, for me, the difference stops. Because for me, on performance, this wedge stacked up just as good as the TaylorMade. I saw no drop off in performance. I didn't chip any worse. In fact, I played some beautiful golf shots with this. It's really interesting. For me, when you have a difference in price, and I'm talking premium versus low price point, and again, TaylorMade versus Kirkland in this example, in a lot of different categories in golf, you do see difference in performance, but for wedges, I just don't see it. Granted, people are going to want to spend money on premium wedges, and I get it, totally. Brand recognition, whatever it may be. But just consider, again, if you're paying for price, you don't always get ridiculously better improvement. So for me, there's not much difference in performance between the premium and the lower price point, between the TaylorMade and the Kirkland Signature in this example. I certainly think wedges are the category in your golf bag where you don't have to spend a ridiculous amount of money because you're not going to see an outrageous difference in performance. Guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned, lots more to come. See you soon.